Evening, everybody. It is. Let me just tell you, 10 to 8 at night, it is. I've got something, not something special, but I want to show you. I've been spending me money. Yes. Something I've always wanted for a long, long time. And this time, it seems as if it's been worth the investment because of the way I'm growing stuff. Let me explain. Let me get to the story, then we're going to go up the allotment and I'm going to talk you through how I've come to buy this bit of equipment. So, TK Maxx do some chilies, like dried chilies. And I'll show you these dried chilies. All different varieties, but we've got these ones. And my son made this sauce. Now this is just one part of it. There's like 2 lots of this size jar. It is like, there's no heat. It's just a smoky, rich, amazing sauce for pizzas, for anything, for kind of tacos. Oh, it's just absolutely delicious. And sure, I'm not sure how, but anyway, he rehydrated them in water, he roasted them, the whole brigade. And we're going to put them in the sauce bottles. So, you know, and we're talking about chilies. This is when we're going to get the chilies from the polytunnel and put into bottles as well. This took ages to blend, so I treated myself. It's my money, not a freebie, and I got myself one of these Vitamix ones, and I had to do a little bit of co-op. Oh, what do you think? It would be a good investment, you know. I had to do the whole kind of charade of kind of saying, and it will be, to be honest, it'll blitz. It took ages. It was like the equipment we've got was like a hand stick blender, a kind of Kenwood blender, 3 times a bullet thing, and it just wouldn't get. It was gritty. So I've invested, and this is actually the cheapest basic model, and I still think this was, I'm going to say $3.25 Costco, $3.40, something like that. On the website, it's a total, but if you go to Costco, you get it a hell of a lot cheaper. And they go up to like £700, do you know what I mean? But you can put stuff in here. I'm not going to go into this Vitamix. You can put stuff in and you can make soup, and hot soup as well, you know what I mean? So I've seen Chili Chump's got a lovely one. And I know he uses it, and his sauces are coming out like fine as anything. So, and the reason why I'm getting quite a few chili plants, and again, this is an investment for next year, because I'll be doing like really hot ones and hot, you know, and different varieties, and it'll last. I'm actually saying my spiel, what I told me good wife to get it. But we'll go up there. What I want to do is walk through my chilies and actually put a little picture of what hopefully it will look like when I get some. Let's go to the garden. So a little bit like the tomato tour, we're going to do a chili tour as well. Onward and upwards. Now, to be honest, I'm not that knowledgeable on growing chilies. And this year, just hats off. I listened to JB. We've had them live, JB, you know, the chili specials. And I listened to JB because year after year, I put them out too quick. They go stunted. I get about 2 or 3 chilies and that's it. This year, I thought, you know what, I'm going to listen to the kids and see what happens. Well, and as yet, mind you, there's not that many chilies on to show you, but everything seems to be going in the right direction. And like I say, I did the soil preparation, right? I did the pots, because I would have just put them in the soil. This is the first time I've just kept them in pots, but the right size pots and everything like that. And things seem, I mean, I've got the greenhouse, which helped immensely on the whole front, you know. So we'll get up there and we'll have a little look. One thing before we go in, it is a total different scenario from tomatoes to peppers. Every day I'm watering, every day I'm feeding with the tomatoes. This is not the case with the chilies. And I forgot to say this one for my wife. The amount of tomatoes hopefully that we'll get justifies the investment, especially, you know, these Roma. I'll just make some lovely tomato sauces. So there we go. There are the chilies, a full row of them. And like you say, you know what I mean? I've never had them, you know, That's up to me waist there, this one. You know, they're all a nice, decent height. They've never been that high, do you know? So, and even I've got some here that are kind of a little bit neglected, but they're coming, you know what I mean? There's still some chilies kind of coming, so hopefully. So before we start, they were all sown on or around very close to the 12th of January. So that, you know, they're goddamn early, and there was a lot of heat. I was up to, I think JBC said like something like 28 degrees, and there would, you know, it's way hotter than, it's a totally different game. And that's maybe my downfall, was kind of treating them a little bit like a tomato and wondering why things weren't germinating. They're a fickle thing in the cold as well. If they get knocked, they're a baby, you know, they'll not kind of, they take ages to kick back. So what I'm doing is, I mean, you can see the kind of soil there is pretty dry, to be honest. And that's what I don't take, I mean, I have been taking them to the brink, but you know, I nearly kind of lost a couple, kind of just too dry and they were toppling over. So it's at least 2 days, possibly every other, you know, like every kind of third day I'll give them a water. Now I don't, like the tomatoes, I don't feed every day, but I do feed, and I use this. So it's chili and pepper focus. And there was, when we were doing the kind of live shows, there was a few people asking about this question, and I know JB said, yep, cracking stuff, you know, fire away there. So I like to feed, you know what I mean? And I was kind of not feeding, or I was a little bit of the CalMag, but I thought that's not what they want. So I got the right stuff, and this is what I'm feeding. And it's basically, you know, like again, a diluted version in watering cans, and I just kind of water, probably, I would say, in a fortnight, probably 3 times I'm kind of feeding. It's something like that, you know. It's like, it's not kind of it's not rocket science, it's not kind of set in stone, should I say. So let's just tell you the history then of me with chilies. So basically, I'm, like I say, a kind of a novice. I once grew, for the, you know, in the kind of an old polytunnel, from the very mildest to the very hottest, and I had about 60 different plants, and I got a kind of good crop, but I can't remember what I did with the chilies, to be honest. But normally I'm a Hungarian hot wax man, which is a kind of a nice, it's not being cruel, mediocre, nice, you know what I mean, safe chili, you know. And possibly these are kind of safe, the ones that I'm growing this year. But, and I've tried super hots, but I lost them with the cold because I just didn't know how to go on, and I didn't have the greenhouse. And I would put me chilies in, and I normally, just turn you around there, see where the tomatoes are, I would normally put a chili at the back there, one down there, one there, one there, and I would get a water every time. And I would be lucky if they got to about 8 inches tall. They would have 3, 4 kind of decent chilies, and that would be it. Nothing like, you know, nothing like these kind of plants, all from like one little pot, you know. And I mean, I've bought the pots there now. I was thinking maybe go a bit bigger, but I know JB said the bigger the pot, you know, like the bigger the plant, the more leaves, the longer it takes to get the chilies. If you want to kind of have little pots, stress the pants out, you get your chilies straight away. So maybe I've hit the kind of the ballpark with size pots. 7.5 litre, and it's a mix. Now I'll have to remember what the mix is, but it's vermiculite and the other one mixed in with what's the other one? I can't remember. And I've never done that before with chilies. Like I say, they've just gone in the ground, and I've hit them with a hose pipe every day. That's what I've been doing, and it didn't work. You know, it just didn't work. They weren't happy. Even if I'd gotten them up past the cold stage, they've not come like this, you know. So I'm happy as out. So let us talk you through what I've got. Again, all kind of sown on round about the 12th of January, 13th of January. These are, and when I look for the picture myself, I'm excited because I don't know what exactly they're going to turn out like. These are called spaghetti, and you can kind of see, look at that, one's a great example of it. And I'm not 100% sure how, you know, I know JB was recommending mild ones because of Steve. You know, Steve just wasn't a chili hot person at all. So we're kind of, you give her about 6 or 7 ideas for kind of chilies just to try out. So these are mostly them ones. I've probably got some heat, you know what I mean? But I did get a hot one from Audrey, which I've got. So anything that's kind of looking like this one in this group is going to be a spaghetti one. So there's 2 plants there. And again, I stopped the, you know, I was kind of nipping the flowers out. I've never done that before. I was nipping the flowers out right until kind of the last minute and then just let them go, you know. So that's another little trick that I'm just totally unaware of. Now this is a big one, you see. I've got this in, I think it's a 30-litre pot. And this one is 12th of January, Sugar Rush shot, is it? Can't remember how you, Sugar Rush, I know it's stripy. Sugar Rush stripy. So these apparently, and I'll put a picture on, look like a kind of candy cane, swirly, different if they happen. Not all plants produce this kind of definition of like a stripy colour. So I got that purely for that, you know, to kind of have a look at that. So I've got quite a few of the Sugar Rush ones. And I think, if I'm right and believe, I'm sure that's a kind of an average heat. And bear in mind, an average heat will kind of still go. So Sugar Rush is ones that's kind of, I'm looking forward to growing. Maybe I should have grown like a, you know, one of my Hungarian hot wax just to see if they would actually get to this height, you know what I mean, and grow that well. So what else have I got? Let's have a look here. I have got this one down here, is Numerex Suave. I think that's how you pronounce it. And again, I think this is a mild one. I'm not 100% sure what it looks like or how it'll taste or anything like that, but this, as a plant grown specimen, I'm chuffed to bits with it, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? That's the way I kind of look at it, you know, so I'm happy with that. I have got somewhere, is this one, I'm not sure, like a hot one, like I say, what Audrey sent us. I'm just trying to, is that, it's called Dattle or Detail. I think that might be one there, which is looking a little bit, I don't know if like a green fly is getting on it. I suppose it looks all right. They came late, so I know the ones in the quad grows are looking stronger and bigger and faster. So even that, you know, because that's got that liquid feed in as well, but it's constant. So maybe it is you know, I'm just thinking there, maybe it is a kind of a good thing to feed all the time. So if that's a Dattle one, that's going to be like me hot one. So this purple, I mean this purple one threw up the chilies straight away. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you can see there is loads on. This is called a Buna Malata, I think. Again, 12th of January. And I've got quite a few of these as well. I've got, I think there's 3 here, and then I've got a one that actually toppled over there as well. So look, and again, still like the chilies, although the main plant's toppled over, the side shoots are now going to take up and grow up as well. There's another spaghetti one at the background. I'm just wondering what this one is. This one, now I think this is a mildish one, Kashmiri, and I've probably got some Kashmiri down here as well. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure which ones, but so that's a Kashmiri. I've got 2, actually they're probably just here. I would have liked, maybe they'll come with more chilies, you know, each one of them is getting more chilies on there now, but you can see this soil, and I've got no base, no thing, so these do dry out quicker. And if anything, I do water these a little bit more, but you can see, just having them on here without any trays, they're not as good. I don't know if you can see, each one's got a tray. And sometimes I water from the bottom, sometimes I water from the top. It all depends, to be honest. I mean, if you look, these are hellish big bonny bushes, you know what I mean, which are gonna come hopefully pretty good. So I think it's been a good investment, hopefully, you know. And like I say, next year I'll be asking JB, you know, we'll be hopefully chatting away, talking about chilies again, and kind of getting the knowledge he knows about chili, because he's been doing it for, you know, since he kind of started gardening. Chilies was his thing. So I'm just following instructions of a lad that knows how, and they seem to have worked. I'm not by the seat of me pants, which I normally do. So hopefully, if you've got chilies, let me know, put in the comments there. Are they going as good? And to be honest, I forgot to show you. And now I just leave this whole system, you know, the doors open down there, the doors open here, and it's just, it must just be a nice environment. I'd get 10 out of 10 for green foliage. Let's see when I get the chilies. We'll come back when it's harvest time. That'll be a nice time for the talk about the chilies. Look after yourself, take good care.